You okay?
Testing, testing. Read all about it.
That's not how that goes.
Hi, Miles.
Hey, Kourtney.
How's it going?
I'm doing great.
Oh, yeah? Why is that?
It's the weekend.
I mean, fair enough. So, couple good news is of the week. It's Motley's birthday today.
Happy birthday, Motley.
Yeah, we love him so much, even though he chewed through our fence and our neighbors hate us for it. But it's fine, we're fixing it.
Yes.
But he's one. Our cute little puppy
Yeah.
is one. Mr. Mots.
Yep.
Mr. Fam Damily mascot. Just kidding.
Yeah.
And then, do you want to tell the world what new state we got?
Yeah, we got Kourtney's favorite state in the world, Wisconsin.
Hello, Wisconsin!
Shout out. Kourtney really likes it for the cheese. That's the only reason.
It's actually the beer. Just kidding.
And Spreckers.
Oh, Spreckers is so good. No, one of my favorite things about Wisconsin is that there are so many street corners that have like a saloon or a pub or whatever, and then right across the street is a church. There's always a church right across the street.
Love it.
There's even like a little town that we passed through a few times that was like population 300. And you would go through and you'd come to like a crawl where it was like 10 miles an hour, and there was this like tiny little walkway where people could, you know, go across the street. And I kid you not, a white chapel and a saloon, like an old Western saloon with those swinging doors, right across the street.
That's so fun.
And one time we were going through, and there was like a group of bikers who had all parked in the church parking lot and were walking across the street to the saloon.
Like motorcyclist bikers?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was so funny. Like, oh, Wisconsin. Squeaky cheese. Love it. Anyways, welcome, Wisconsin. We're happy you're here. I hope that I know who you are that's listening, but who knows?
Yeah, I was looking at our stats and I'm like, oh, new state. And then I saw it was Wisconsin. I'm like, Kourtney! It's like, what? We got a new state. Which one? Guess.
Happy day.
It was a happy day.
Anyways, are you, do you have anything else you want to say?
Not really. I started watching a new show a couple of days ago, and I've binged it pretty hard. It's The Good Doctor. It's
with Steve.
Yep.
What's his face? Steve.
Yep.
What's his name? The main character.
Oh. His name is Sean.
I will get it eventually.
Yeah, played by Freddie Highmore. That's a good show. It's I mean, you know how often I cry. Not often.
Have you cried?
No, but I've been really close. Like, this show has me on like an emotional roller coaster.
I'm pretty sure you told your mom the other day that you don't cry anymore.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Which isn't true, Melody. Don't listen to him.
Yeah. No, I haven't cried yet, but like it got me close. It got me close to crying.
Well, I cried literally taking these notes, so
Oh.
I win, but I cry all the time, so it's not really saying much.
Yes.
It's just because my husband puts me in a closet.
What?
I'm just kidding. It was a joke.
Let the record show that I don't do that.
Yeah, I go involuntarily.
And if I were to give you a closet, it would be a big closet. You're a punk.
I'm so funny.
Yeah, keep telling yourself that.
So I was told today that our fans enjoy the jokes that we tell at the beginning of episodes.
Oh, who doesn't? Everyone loves dad jokes.
Oh, I know. They're the best, especially when they're terrible. I have a few for you. Ready?
When they're the worst, they're the best.
And let's see if you can guess the theme of today's episode. First one. What did Iron Man say to Ant-Man?
What?
Stop bugging me.
Ha 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 ha. Is it Marvel? Is it Stan Lee?
Stan Lee? Oh, that would have been so good. No, it's not.
Okay.
That's a good one, though.
Yeah.
Saving that for later. What does Spider-Man tell people that his job is?
What?
A web designer.
All
Alright, okay. Last one.
Okay.
The world's most useless superhero has got to be X-Ray Man. The hero with power of X-ray vision.
Sure.
A concerned citizen would just be like, quick, he's getting away. X-Ray Man. Yes, I can see that. Boom.
That's all he could do.
So those are my jokes for today.
I love it.
Miles said, look up some jokes. Look up Miles. Or something like that.
Oh, yeah. When she was looking up jokes for the episode, I'm like, just look up Miles. Because I am a joke.
No.
She glared at me pretty hard. Yeah.
Okay, so I wonder if you know what this episode is about. Da, 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 da.
Candy canes.
Yeah, that's exactly
Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows.
And unicorns. No. Today I'm going to be talking about superheroes.
What?
Plural. And
what?
I have 3 lists to read to you today.
Where'd superheroes come from? That's pretty random.
Is it?
No.
You'll understand when we get to the end.
I was just kidding. Continue.
Oh. Because
of your jokes, yeah.
Oh, I see. I thought you meant just like the topic in general.
No, all of our topics are pretty random. I did Bermuda Triangle. Remember that one? That was pretty random.
Yes, I do remember that one. That was a good one. Okay, so the first list is the top 10 best real life superheroes.
Real life, huh?
Real life superheroes. So, I got most of these sources, or the source that I used for this was screenrant.com.
Oh, Screen Rant. I love Screen Rant.
And also Wikipedia.
Thanks, Wikipedia.
This is a list that they put together, and then I went and did my own research and kind of compiled it in a way that made sense to me.
Look at you go.
So we will start from number 10, and we'll go down to 1, and then we'll move on to list number 2.
Do they go in like any sort of order or rank or anything? Just kind of random?
Well, this was the order that they put it in. But like I said, I did my own research on the people and like what they did.
Okay.
So number 10 is from Liberia.
Ooh.
And this superhero goes by the alias Lionheart.
Nice.
So Lionheart grew up in Africa and of course grew up with like troubles of war and civil unrest and yada yada yada. And so he vowed that in his adult life he would do everything he could to help his country and help make it better. So he has dedicated a lot of his life to educating villages on how to like boil water and prepare food so that they can minimize illnesses due to like unsafe drinking water and contamination and things like that. He also teaches people of the dangers of human trafficking, and essentially education is his superpower.
Nice.
Yeah. I couldn't really find out much about his personal life. A lot of these other superheroes I'm about to talk about like are almost cheesy because they like to dress up and things like that. But there's nothing like that about him. I think he just had an alias and was doing good. And I did find that there was actually like a Lionheart movement that was kind of the same thing. That was like people just trying to better the community by bringing in like medicine and other supplies and things like that.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, growing up in Africa, Liberia, I can't imagine he came from, like, a wealthy background.
Right,
unless
exactly.
he did.
No.
So it's like, people going out of their way to help. Yeah, I talked about this your last episode as well. Like, people helping each other. It's just inspiring.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Well, that's actually kind of part of the reason why I chose this topic. Is because we were talking about how, like, it's really hard to find the good stories.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? We need a good, wholesome story. We need something about people doing good for others.
Yeah.
So I found real-life superheroes, and it's been really fun to read about. Like I said, I, at one point, cried while taking these notes, so...
Cry baby. I'm just kidding.
So another fun fact, this isn't actually about Lionheart, the real-life superhero, but there is a Lionheart fictional character in the Marvel universe. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. Fun fact. So Lionheart in the Marvel universe is actually a woman. And essentially her story goes that she is like a single mother of two, living in England, and she sacrifices her life to save Captain America. I didn't read too much into the exact storyline, but I know that that's how she essentially dies, and the Captain America helps bring her back to life.
Nice.
And so she's resurrected with powers, and she originally was called Captain Britain.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Oh, so you recognize that name. Okay. Yeah, so that was her original name, and I think at some point they changed it to Lionheart. But her superhero abilities include superhuman strength, flight, energy bolts, force fields, and something about a sword of might. I don't know what that means.
Same. Yeah. Just kidding.
You're like, yeah, me too. It's up in our bedroom.
I got super strength too, and I'm just kidding.
Yeah, the energy bolts.
Yeah.
Daggers.
Force fields, everything.
So that's it for number 10. So number 9 is all the way in Helsinki, Finland. If I pronounce that wrong, I apologize.
No, that's right.
Helsinki?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. Have you been there?
Yeah.
Oh.
3 times.
Oh, okay.
No, I've never been to Finland. I'm just pulling your leg. I wanted to see how gullible you would be.
Miles, I learn things about you every week.
Like what? What'd you learn about me last week?
I don't remember. I couldn't think of anything clever off the top of my head. Okay, so this superhero is Dex Laser Skater.
Laser skater. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Is he on a skateboard?
Nope, he's on roller skates.
Roller skates. That was going to be my next guess.
And he is pretty eccentric, actually. I thought he was pretty cool. So when Dex isn't working his normal 9 to 5, he is busy riding around the streets on his roller skates doing good deeds. So he isn't necessarily fighting bad guys, but he is doing things like helping lost tourists. He tips waiters and bouncers at restaurants and clubs. And he helps the homeless, and he'll sometimes return lost items to their owners, etc., etc.
Nice.
And he has dedicated his whole like persona to this character. And in fact, he actually has an Instagram. It's at Dex Laser Skater. And you can see him in all of his glory in his getup, which is tidy whities and roller
Also, he's
skates.
one of the dress up guys.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Or dressed down, because he's not really wearing a lot.
Oh, okay.
Tidy whities and roller skates.
When you said tidy white, I was thinking like one of those white morph suits or something like that, but
No.
tidy. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And actually I looked up his Instagram, and he had stats from 2022 of all of the good he did. And it was things like this. So this was back in November. He put 2022 so far, helped beggars 27, tipping cafe waiters 22, tipping cafe bouncers 42, tipping street musicians 14, tipping DJs 1, taking part in a collection 1, guiding tourists and other people 2, other good deeds miscellaneous 57, total 166.
So he's making a big deal. Nice. He's making a big deal of like tipping these people. But I mean, we tip people when we go out to eat. So like, is he tipping them extra?
I don't know if that's a common practice in Finland, because I know a lot of countries.
Finland. Okay, I'm sorry. I was still thinking. Never mind. Okay, that makes sense.
So I think he was, and I'm sure because he has a platform. Like he has 2,000 followers on here, and he has a Facebook page and everything like that. So I'm sure he probably gets like donations. So I've seen like a lot of influencers do that, where they're like, we're gonna go tip someone like an outrageous amount of money, send us $2 if you'd like to contribute, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure like
Yeah, something like
he
that.
gets a little bit of help. I don't know for sure, but I would imagine.
That's cool.
So yeah, go check out his Instagram. Miles laughed because I showed him his getup. And Dex, if you ever listen to this, you're awesome.
We don't have any listeners in Finland yet, but never say never.
We appreciate the things you do. I would never go out in my underwear and roller skates, but you do you.
God, no, I might. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, so our next stop for number 8 is in Mexico.
Mexico.
So this superhero is Super Barrio Gomez.
Barrio?
Barrio.
Not Mario. Barrio.
Yeah, but it's all one word. Super Barrio.
Okay.
So Super Barrio goes around in red tights and a red and yellow luchador wrestler's mask.
Nice.
His look was actually inspired by a luchador wrestler, El Santo. And Super Barrio is known for using his famous image, because he's kind of like a celebrity down there. But he uses his image to organize rallies and protests to fight against labor laws and housing crises and things like that. Or crises, sorry, I can say words.
English is hard, it's okay.
He even, at one point, began stopping the evictions of families who were paying their rent during a really bad housing crisis in Mexico. I think it was in the 80s. And fun fact about him, in 1996, he actually declared himself an official candidate for the United States presidential election.
Nice.
And he held mock campaign rallies in the United States and in Mexico. But yeah, that was kind of like his ultimate role, was that he was a public rally. He would bring people together to do protests and things like that.
Cool. Kind of like a Reformation leader or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Cool.
So the actual persona of Super Barrio, it was one person, but it was more so like the mascot of like an organization kind of thing. And Super Barrio became a fictional character that was put into like books and films and theater play, things like that. So yeah, his character kind of developed more so into this figure of hope, so to speak. So
right on.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
That'd be cool to have like a comic series based off of you. Yeah.
All right. So the next one is in New York, and this is a female superhero named Terrifica. And she had one goal and one goal only, and that was to prevent drunk women from being taken advantage of.
Wow.
Yeah. So she would, just at night, she would parole bars and nightclubs, and she would keep an eye out for any girl that was overly drunk, being accompanied by a suspicious guy in questionable circumstances.
Cool.
And she was so efficient at what she did that she even got her own like public arch nemesis who people called Fantastico. And the
Terrifica
reason
and Fantastico. Yeah,
and this part is actually kind of sad but also cool at the same time. But the reason she had this nemesis is because she had stopped him on multiple occasions from taking drunk girls home. So, and he obviously didn't like her. But the sad part is the fact that, you know, this guy was known for that kind of behavior. But the cool thing is that she was able to prevent some of it. So. Yeah. But yeah, Terrifica, terrific lady. She considers herself retired now.
Okay. She didn't hand the torch off to someone, kind of like Zorro.
No, that would have been cool, though.
That would have been cool. Or the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Number 5. We're going all the way to San Diego. This one is Mr. Extreme. So Mr. Extreme was a security guard by day, and by night he would help the homeless and stop petty crimes from happening. He credited his heroism on his troubled past as a child who was bullied. So he wanted to kind of like correct that part of his life. So he enjoyed doing everything he could in his power to essentially make the world a better place. And some of the things that he would do included volunteering at homeless shelters and other places around town. He got really involved in organizing benefits and, of course, casually patrolling the streets with an eye out for crime. And his getup included mismatched body armor, a helmet, and goggles.
Cool.
Yeah.
What kind of helmet?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's all I have on Mr. Extreme. Okay, so number 4. In Rochester, Minnesota, this is Geist.
Geist?
Uh-huh. Geist began his real-life superhero journey in April of 2007 by selling off his comic book collection to assist in funding his transformation. He is known for working alongside many other real-life superheroes and their organizations. And what he says is... I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh at this, but it's kind of funny. He said, "We're basically normal people who just like to find unusual ways to do something good. Once you get suited up, you're a hero, and you've got to act like one." End quote.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good for him.
He has gone through great lengths to hide his identity, and according to him, only one person in his personal life actually knows about his superhero identity.
I mean, yeah, you got to protect those that you love. That's like rule number 1 in vigilante work.
Yeah, he's like the Minnesota Batman.
Yeah. Minnesota Batman.
He focuses his time and efforts on helping the homeless, victims of abuse and tragedy, and other charities. And he also like hands out supplies to the homeless, and he takes like treats and foods to local shelters. And he is also known for enjoying putting a smile on the faces of kids in the hospital. So that's
fun.
Cool. Yeah. So he's pretty humble about the things that he does. And his getup includes wearing a bandana and boots and a fedora and sunglasses and vambraces. Do you know what those are?
No.
It's like body armor, like metallic, like when you think of like a knight in shining armor, it's like that kind of armor, and it goes on your elbows, not to your forearms.
Like medieval armor?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty cool, actually. But yeah, he wears those on his arms. But yeah. Also, fun fact, there is a character, Geist, who is a fictional character in the DC comics, who's kind of like a no-name hero, almost.
Same. I'm just kidding.
Yes.
I'm just a host on a lesser-known podcast. By night, I guess.
By day, you're a superhero?
Yeah.
Period, question mark?
No. I'm not going to tell everyone that. I'm just kidding.
The Cheyenne superhero.
Yeah, we need one of those.
I'll actually get to that one in a minute.
What?
Anyways. Number 3, Vancouver, Canada. This one is called Thanatos. Thanatos. Have you ever heard of that before?
The what?
Thanatos. Like Thanos, but add an extra syllable.
Okay.
Thanatos.
That's a Greek god, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Thanatos.
Huh?
Thanatos, I think.
Thanatos. Am I saying it like, okay, Thanatos.
I think that's how you pronounce it.
That makes more sense. So Thanatos, the real life superhero Thanatos.
He's the god of death, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Woo.
So he essentially based his character off of the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, I was trying to think. Like, I know he has this. Like, I was trying to think of the word because he carries a scythe and wears the hood and everything. So okay.
That's
knew
fun. You would know that one. I'm so happy you did. So Thanatos is the Greek personification of death. So Thanatos, the Canadian, he had noticed a lot of homeless people spending their time on the streets, and a lot of people were dying on the streets, and it kind of like wasn't sitting right with him. And one day a police officer told him that the homeless had nothing better to look forward to than death.
Oh.
And he did not take that well. And so he said, quote, "I don't come from Krypton, and I wasn't bitten by a radioactive spider or anything like that. I was working downtown trying to help the streets and noticing a lot of things happening, people living and dying on the streets. I was told by a police officer that some people on the streets had nothing better to look forward to than death. That really stung. That really hurt me. So I said that if that's the case, then death better get out of there and start taking care of these people. I developed this persona to go out there and help." End quote. So his acts of kindness include everything from handing out water bottles to distributing slips of paper with the word friend on them. So yeah, he really wanted to take that embodiment of death and turn it into a positive thing.
Oh.
Like, if all they have to look forward to is death, then death is going to make their lives better, essentially.
Nice.
Yeah. One really cool thing that he did is he actually helped a girl who was spending about $400 a day on her heroin addiction. And in about 6 months, he helped her cut it out of her life. And she now works in a paid position at a local social agency. And when she tells the story why she changed, she says, quote, "Death came and told me I had to change. So death saved me."
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't
That's
that
deep.
cool?
Yeah. You want to know a little fun fact about me?
Yeah.
Do you remember MSN Messenger?
Yes.
So, back in the day, this was a weird phrase. Like, I wasn't emo or anything, but I had a weird obsession with the Grim Reaper. I just thought the entity of the Grim Reaper was cool. So I'd like make that my profile picture and stuff like that. Eventually my mom's like, "Oh, you probably shouldn't do that." Sends off a weird message. I'm like, "Oh, that's fair enough." But I don't know. It was just, I don't know. Again, I wasn't emo. It was just.
That's really funny. Yeah. I would have pictured you with like a leprechaun or something.
Yeah, that was later in life.
You're like, I had to go through this first.
Yes. Gotta get dark before it gets light.
It's a beautiful metaphor.
Thanks.
Death saved me.
Death saved me. I like that.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So Thanatos from Vancouver was 63 years old. This was back in 2012. And this is when he was like really in the height of what he was doing. So he was a 63-year-old father of one. And he is the oldest member of the Real Life Superhero Project, which is a group of caped and masked do-gooders who aim to inspire others to spread kindness.
Cool. Imagine being part of like having that title. That'd be cool.
Yeah. See? Good news. All right.
Worth a movie, I think. TM.
Trademark. Okay. Number 2. This one is in Seattle, Washington. And this one is Phoenix Jones. This one's actually pretty cool.
Is that the real name?
That is the alias. So
okay.
Phoenix Jones is the alter ego of a real-life mixed martial arts fighter, Ben Fodor.
Okay.
Phoenix Jones, he has, during his superhero time, has broken up muggings and assaults. He has been in a lot of physical altercations. He has been stabbed and shot at, and he has managed, thankfully, to avoid real injury because his superhero costume consisted of a bulletproof vest and other protective coverings. But he got so involved with this lifestyle that he actually got in a little bit of trouble with the law for intervening. And a lot of officers, or some officers, I guess I should say, have questioned if some of his interventions were necessary completely. But yeah, I feel like he is one of those guys that is the character you see in the movies where it's like this do-good vigilante person who just beats people up in the streets.
I like it.
Yeah.
That'd be hard too with a bulletproof vest because those things are pretty heavy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And number 1 from this list. Number 1 is the most well-known and the most eccentric superhero, in my opinion, eccentric. He is from Orlando, Florida, and he is called Master Legend. So he wears...
Do they come up with their own names?
Yes.
Okay.
A few of them, yeah.
It shows. I'm just kidding.
He wears homemade protective gear, and he carries a number of gadgets. I was thinking, Florida man, is he carrying an alligator? Like,
does he know karate that he practices on ducks?
He has helped. Actually, this is kind of cool. He has helped he has helped the police put away criminals by giving them information that he has gathered from patrolling the streets.
Oh, cool.
He has also been known to help the homeless, organize toy drives, and occasionally beat up troublemakers that cross his path.
All right.
Master Legend claims to have picked up this superhero persona at the age of 16. He also claims that he has died multiple times, and each time he has come back stronger and smarter than before. And he says that at one point in his life, he combated a hypnotist who was telling children to steal. And he is also, he has established the first tax-exempt real-life superhero organization, which is Justice, Inc. in Orlando.
Justice, Inc., like Incorporated?
Uh-huh.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So that is the top 10 real-life superheroes.
You were going to say something about the Cheyenne one.
Yes.
Are you getting to it?
I will.
Okay. Well, cool.
Yeah.
That's really fun.
Yeah. My next list is top 10 real-life heroes. So this is, the difference is you take out the word super.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is more like Good Samaritans.
Gotcha. Okay.
So not people who dress up and try to make a name. These are people who have done really incredible things. And I'm just going to read these directly from the website. It is coreessentials.com, and it's one of their blogs, and it's pretty cool. So we'll start with number 10. Again, this is a Good Samaritan in Arkansas. So the Everett family was going to lunch at Logan's Roadhouse after their usual Sunday service when Titus, one of their 7 boys, got hit by a mid-size SUV in the parking lot. Titus was being crushed under the middle of the vehicle with thousands of pounds of pressure weighing down on him. Immediately, the manager, several employees, and other people dining at the restaurant, including a police officer from a surrounding community, jumped in and lifted the car off of the boy, saving his life. Titus is okay and now has a band of brothers who rushed in and became real-life superheroes that day.
Aww.
So yeah, that one's number 10. Number 9. This is Mamadou Gassama. I probably said that wrong. So one day in France, a 4-year-old boy was dangling helplessly from a balcony of an apartment building. A passerby, Gassama, sprang into action. In less than a minute, the 22-year-old scaled at least 4 floors, unaided, using only his bare hands to pull the boy to safety.
My goodness.
The real-life Spider-Man right there. Gassama hauls himself up from balcony railing to balcony railing while a crowd of onlookers screams below. Within seconds, he maneuvers over to the boy and appears to pull him up with one arm. And then
that's impressive.
The actual article says, one freaking arm. This guy is both daredevil and hero. That's
insane. Because I was watching this video recently. I can't remember what it was. But it was a video about... It was kind of trying to debunk, you know how in the movies where people like dive to save people and like pull them up with one arm? Uh-huh. They were trying to debunk that, and they were saying like, yeah, it's harder than you would think. Like to get them over that, and like even if it's unassisted. Well, even if it is, like if the person dangling kind of offers their strength as well to help pull up, but like the way they were showing it looked pretty difficult.
I believe it. I mean, you also have to take into account adrenaline.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I'm sure with this, he saw this boy, 4 stories up, little 4-year-old, but saved him.
Was he a rock? Is there more about him? Like, was he into rock climbing and stuff like that? Or?
I'm sure I could find more, but no.
Because I mean, that's not something like you'd have to be pretty confident in your skills as well to be able to climb that. Most people would probably like try to get inside and then find their way up there. This guy scaled the freaking building.
Yeah. Well, it did say he went from balcony to balcony, so I'm sure like he had things to hold on to.
Yeah, but even then, like you have to, because. I mean, depending on how far apart the balconies are, you'd have to be like almost jumping to get to the next one.
That's true.
So.
Yeah. But yeah, isn't that a cool story?
That's really cool.
All right, so this one is number 8, former New York Giants linebacker Cole Farrand. So at the age of 23, with professional football contract in hand, Cole Farrand woke up, ran to the house next door, and saw a man trapped on the roof of a burning house.
Ooh.
And they wrote, and do we mention it was on fire? Like an inferno fire. So I like whoever wrote this. They have a good writing style. Anyways, Farrand immediately grabbed an extension ladder from his grandparents' house to bring to the man to help get him to safety. Farrand said that he thought anyone else would have done the same thing, but the fact that he did it, risking his career and his life, just kind of shows that he is, quote, a giant in every sense of the word. New York Giant. So that's pretty cool. All right. Number 7, James Shaw Jr. In 2018, a gunman entered a Waffle House near Nashville early in the morning and met the ultimate hero, a 29-year-old AT&T technician. Moving towards the bathroom as the first bullets were flying, James noticed the shooter had momentarily stopped firing and pointed the barrel of his AR-15 towards the ground. That's when Shaw made a split-second decision. He rushed the shooter and managed to seize the rifle. Ultimately, 4 people were killed, yet law enforcement said the number could have been far higher had Shaw, who was shot in his efforts, had not acted. And it says, now that is going the extra mile for customers.
Mm-hmm.
That's so so scary, because you always think, what would you do in those situations?
And they tell you all the time, like, don't try to be a hero, like, give the person whatever they want, but, like...
Split second.
Yeah, but like sometimes it's not worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm sure, that split second, I can imagine felt like an eternity to him.
Yeah.
Or he needed to make a decision.
Mm-hmm. He better have got Employee of the Year.
Well, he wasn't an employee either.
Oh. Okay.
He was an AT&T technician, and he was just having breakfast at Waffle House.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Okay, so this next one, number 6, Audie Leon Murphy. So Murphy was one of the most decorated American combat soldiers of World War II. He not only received every military combat award for valor available from the U.S. Army, but he also received French and Belgian awards for heroism. Murphy received the Medal of Honor for valor that he demonstrated at the age of 19 for single-handedly holding off a company of German soldiers for an hour at the Colmar Pocket in France. And says, oh, and that dude didn't stop there. He then led a successful counterattack while wounded and out of ammunition. Freaking stud.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. Is that in the freaking stud?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, they wrote that.
Wow.
Look, I'll show you the picture they have of all of his medals.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would be a very full jacket.
Yeah. Yep. That's pretty cool, though.
Very colorful. Very, probably heavy.
Okay, so number 5, Alexander Fyodorovich Akimov. Anyways, so he played a big role during the Chernobyl disaster in preventing a more disastrous outcome. So he was the person who declared an emergency as soon as the reactor was shut down. So rather than evacuate, he actually stayed behind and had his crew turn on the emergency feed water pumps to flood the reactor. So he was staying there, breathing the poisonous air in the reactor building, and he manually pumped emergency feed water into the reactor without any protective gear. So obviously we know Chernobyl turned out horribly and caused a lot of damage, but his actions, no doubt, saved a lot of lives.
Yeah.
And made it, prevented it from being way worse, which is scary to think that it could have gotten worse, you know? But
I mean, that already was a big disaster.
Uh-huh.
It's still radiated today.
So, but he literally put his life in extreme danger to help prevent the spread of it. So, pretty cool.
Yeah.
So this one I have opinions about. This one's number 4, and it's James Blunt. So, of course, we all are familiar with...
Is he a singer?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're all familiar with the song, You're Beautiful. And though that song may have saved your relationship from catastrophe, his actions as a soldier actually did more for the world than his vocals ever could. When he was told to invade the Pristina airfield that Russians had tried to take over, he refused. The order from a U.S. Army general was ignored and put Blunt in a risky court-martialed type of stitch. Luckily, another general agreed with Blunt and recognized the danger in invading as well. Within a few hours, he pulled all of the troops back, resolving the conflict peacefully. Now that is beautiful. So I think it's cool, what he did, but the part of me that, has opinions is I don't know. I guess in this situation, it turned out the way it should have, but just ignoring orders from someone in higher rank of you in the military kind of leaves a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth. But just like what this article said, it actually ended up better that they ignored it. But yeah, something I didn't know about James Blunt.
Yeah, that's a pretty controversial topic too. Yeah. No, I have my own thoughts about it too, but
yeah, I mean,
I'm sure
it's a cool story, but
that is a cool story.
It's you don't really want to encourage disobedience.
Exactly. It's one of those things. I guess I'll share my opinion anyway. It's just one of those things where it's even though someone is higher up than you is giving order, doesn't always make it right.
That's true.
And it's that whole philosophy of letter of the law versus spirit of the law kind of thing. Letter of the law, you follow it to a T, exactly how it's written, but it's there's also a meaning behind the law. There's a reason why we have them, and it's if something contradicts that reason, I don't know where I'm going with it now. What you're saying. But I don't know. That's another thing. I agree that it's bad to disobey someone who is giving you a direct order, especially military wise. That's a big deal. But at the same time, and this is something I wish that people in higher position would also respect the opinions of those who are actually doing the work.
True.
We see that all the time in, like, you know, corporate America, where it's like, you know, the people that are doing the work are taken for granted so hard.
Yeah,
but then the people on the higher up scale, like, sure, they have more quote unquote experience with it, but I mean, times change, things change all the time. Like, you're not living in it right now. You don't know how things are going to work.
Yeah. Okay, this is like a really bad example, but you know what that just made me think of is there was like this big, I don't know, news thing a few months ago where Kylie Jenner,
of course,
decided to go to the grocery store because she wanted to, like, feel like she was in touch with her fans. And everyone was like, that was the most out of touch thing you could have done, because she had paparazzi following her around. She had security guards walking her through the grocery store. They cleared out the grocery store for her and her friend. Like, no. Like, everyone's like, yeah, that just made you seem even more different from us, you know.
We're kind of going along with that. The one that I saw, it was Bill Gates, but they've done it with a couple other, you know, billionaires and everything, where it's like, guess the price of this product.
Oh, like on Ellen DeGeneres.
Yes.
So they did that with Bill Gates. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like, you know, guess the price of this milk. I don't know, $150. No. Like, they have a completely different lifestyle. Like, they don't know.
Right. Well, I hope that in the situation with James Blunt that his general was more involved, but
yeah,
it's hard to say, you know.
Yeah. Sorry, just another little side note. Like, this show that I'm watching, The Good Doctor, like, this happens all the time. So basically, the premise of the story I've told you about, like, the main character has autism, but he's also, like, genius level. Like, he has a photographic memory, and he is able to, like, I don't know, figure things out just by picturing it. But anyway, like, his higher ups are very, at least in the beginning, they were very like, hesitant with him, very doubtful that he was going to succeed. And it's like, you know, he would give all these suggestions of things that it could be, and they basically shut it down,
ignored him. Yeah.
But it's like, you know, give the guy a chance.
So how similar is this show to, like, Doogie Howser?
Very different.
Oh, really?
Doogie Howser is
Prodigy.
They're kind of both Prodigy. But Doogie Howser more central, is more centered on the comedy aspect rather than, like,
the seriousness.
I mean, it has seriousness in it, granted, but it is a comedy show, medical comedy. This one is more drama.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to number 3. This is William Kyle Carpenter. Did you get your rant out of the way?
Yes, I'm done. I shouldn't say anymore.
No. You're good. So, William Kyle Carpenter is the youngest living soldier to ever receive the Medal of Honor. Carpenter shielded his friend from a hand grenade that was thrown onto the rooftop they were based out in November of 2010. Both of the men survived thanks to Kyle. Only 21 years old at the time, he, without a second thought, threw his body onto a live grenade, resulting in him losing most of his teeth, his right eye, shattering his jaw, and breaking his arm in a number of places.
Oof.
So, yeah. He saved his best friend's life. But yeah.
Wow.
Active heroism right there.
It's a Captain America move.
Seriously.
At least from the movie. He jumps on a live grenade to save everyone else.
No, that's like again, one of those split-second decisions.
Mm-hmm.
But they probably would have died if he hadn't done that,
yeah.
both of them. Anyways, super cool. All right, number 2. This is Witold Pilecki. Pilecki voluntarily made it his mission to discover what secrets the Nazi Party were hiding. He intentionally got himself arrested by the Nazis so that he could infiltrate one of the camps in Auschwitz. This dude spent 2.5 years in Auschwitz sending back his intelligence to the Polish government so that they were able to convince their allies that the concentration camps were death camps. How? He built his own radio from smuggled parts and got the word out.
Wow.
In Auschwitz.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. To make matters worse, his own country then sentenced him to death with charges of espionage and the illegal crossing of the borders under a false name. Now that is heroism for heroism's sake.
That's another example of, like, letter of the law, spirit of the law. Like, this guy was doing your whole country a service.
Uh-huh.
And you put him to death for doing a good thing.
Well, and think like what his actions were able to do in the long run.
Exactly.
Like, I can't say that he single-handedly ended the war, but I'm sure it played a big part.
Oh, for sure.
So, all right. And then last but not least, number 1. This is Ekapul Chantawang or Ake.
Okay.
Is it Ake or Ake?
I don't know.
Ake.
Yep.
We'll go with Ake because I'm American.
Are you?
Who? Yeah, we had the same question. This dude is a hero to 12 boys trapped in a cave for 9 days. On June 23rd, the group entered the Tham Luang cave for a short trek to celebrate a teammate's birthday. As a monsoon rain came upon them quickly, water filled the tunnels of one of Thailand's most complex underground cave system, and the group was trapped. For the next 9 days, Ake, a former Buddhist monk, keeping them alive in the dark without food by leading them in meditation and showing them how to collect clean water dripping down from the stalactites. After a daring rescue, all of the boys made it out alive, and now Ake is their MVP.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
That is really cool.
Like, how intense of a situation. He's like, all right, all that training, the years of being a monk, here it is. No, but seriously.
Yeah. I like cave exploring. But
don't.
it's no, I get why people are scared of it. So back in good old Australia, right? We would often go up to we were friends with this one family who lived like an hour and a half from, well, not an hour and a half, but like from major cities, or not major cities, but like they basically lived out in the wild almost.
Sure.
But they had this campsite that they set up for people who wanted to, like, you know, explore the region and everything, and it was really cool. And they had mines and caves and stuff like around their property that a lot of people would go to, and like I have very fond memories of those trips.
Oh, that's so creepy.
It was so like pitch black, so much like the water would come up to mid shins and everything, and you'd just be trudging through the water, and it was so much fun. It was really cold, but it was a lot of fun.
It freaks me out a little bit. So fun fact, I didn't know the term spelunking was a real thing. And so when I was a missionary in Wisconsin, for one of our P days, everyone wanted to go spelunking.
Mm-hmm. And
I was like, what even is that? And so we went on this really beautiful hike. It was gorgeous. And then we found this really teeny tiny little like pocket in a rock that you could go through. And so I was just like, okay, everyone else is going in, like I'll go in. And so we all like squeezed into this little cave, and it still like makes me cringe. But then someone turned on their flashlight, and we were just surrounded by spiders.
Really?
So, like surrounded. And all of us were like, all right, we're done. And we got out of there as fast as we could. It was pretty spooky.
What kind of spiders?
I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
I just know that there was one like an inch away from my head, and then there were like 27 more. And then there was one part where the rocks kind of like made a tunnel, and in the little tunnel, like you could see daylight through both sides.
Mm-hmm.
And you could crawl through it, but you kind of had to like army crawl through. And everyone was like, go through it. And I was like, I'm good. I'll just watch you from the other end. So
that's fair enough. Yeah, a lot of those places are pretty sketchy. So like for those listening, if you ever want to go spelunking or cave exploring, whatever, like be careful. Take someone with you, and I don't know, bring rope, because there are too many horror stories of people getting stuck and like suffocating or starving to death, stuff like that. So
I actually legitimately worked myself up into like anxiety about this just a few days ago, because I saw a TikTok about it, about a guy who died in a cave.
Yep.
And I'm one of those people / moms / millennial whatever, who the more tired I get, the more anxious I become. Like I work myself up to like into a frenzy.
Yep.
And so I'm like trying to distract myself, but then I like start overthinking, and it's usually about my kid. Like, oh my gosh, is she suffocating on her blanket? Oh my gosh, am I going to throw her out of a window accidentally, even though we never open our windows in our house? Like, just like the most random intrusive thoughts, right? And so, of course, on TikTok, I see one video of a tragic accident that happened. And then for the next, like, hour, that's all I could think about was dying in a cave. Anyways, so, welcome to my brain, everyone.
That's just scratching the surface. It's a whole mess. We love you, though.
Thanks, honey.
Your mind is beautiful.
Anyways, now I'm going to move on before someone admits me into a psych ward. So that is the list of the best real life heroes. So we've gone real life superheroes, real life heroes. We have one more list. This one will be really quick. This one is the top 10 most popular Marvel heroes.
Okay.
And I just want to see if you can guess them in order from 10 down to 1.
So you want me to guess the 10th most popular down to the first popular?
Mm-hmm. Just start throwing them out there and I'll tell you.
Okay.
I'll tell you if they're on the list. How about that?
Well, you have to go with the ones from the cinematic universe. So we have Iron Man, Captain America.
Wait, Iron Man's not on the list.
Really? Yes, he is.
No, he's not. Maybe this is a faulty list.
Yeah, that list is false then.
Okay, keep going.
Captain America.
Yes.
The Hulk.
Oh, psych. Okay, we're gonna have to start this part over because this is the most popular heroes from Marvel and DC.
Oh, okay.
But it's still only 10.
Okay. Do you want me to keep guessing though?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Which one did you say? You said Captain America and...
Captain America. I said the Hulk.
Yes.
Spider-Man is definitely on there.
Yes.
I don't want to say Thor if Iron Man's not on there. Is Thor
is
on
on there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's think DC. Superman.
Yep.
Okay. Batman.
Yep.
Flash.
Yep.
Green Lantern.
Yep.
Aquaman.
Nope.
Okay. Good. Martian Manhunter. Wonder Woman.
Nope. You actually only have 2 more that you haven't even guessed.
Marvel or DC? One from each.
Yeah?
I'll
give you one guess from each, and then I'll tell you the list.
Okay. Let's think. Marvel.
Do, 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 do.
I can't think of anyone that's going to be more popular than Iron Man. Is it Groot?
No.
Okay.
All right, that's your one guess. Okay, now DC.
Did I say Green Lantern already?
You did.
Okay. I said the Flash. Cyborg?
Nope.
Dang it.
All right, so the most popular superheroes from Marvel and DC combined. Coming in at number 10, Thor.
Okay.
9, The Flash. 8, Black Panther.
Oh, okay.
7, Green Lantern. 6, Wolverine.
Really?
Yep.
Cool. Okay.
5, Hulk. 4, Captain America. 3, Superman. 2, Batman. And 1, Spider-Man.
Yep. That tracks.
Are you surprised?
No, I knew Spider-Man was going to be like at least top 3 because he's one of Marvel's icons.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Iron Man is on there. Heavily surprised Iron Man isn't on there.
Yeah, I'm surprised too.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Green Lantern is on there.
Why?
Because, like, I don't even really know who that is.
Oh, okay. He's the one with the ring. And he's green. And he's got a symbol of a lantern on his chest.
Anyways. So, I had mentioned something about a Cheyenne hero.
Yeah, you did. I've been waiting for it.
Yeah. So, this was actually going to be the story that I told. But then I found these fun lists and I wanted to include all of it. So, with that being said, let me get into the inspiration, the Cheyenne hero. So, this is a story about Bridger Walker of Cheyenne, Wyoming. This is the part where I, like, cried when I was taking notes because I remember this happening in real time and what it did to the community and what it did to the country, and it was just really, really cool.
Okay.
So, on July 9th, 2020, Bridger Walker, who was 6 years old, jumped in between his sister and a charging dog.
I remember the story. Okay, continue.
The dog bit Bridger's face and head several times, but Bridger was able to grab his sister's hand and rush her to safety. Bridger was later interviewed, and he said, quote, "If someone had to die, I thought it should be me."
Oh.
Yeah. He received 90 stitches, and from what I know, he has recovered almost perfectly. Like, he has scars, but, like, he's healthy and he's great. He also added at one point that the dog owners were great people who have been nothing but kind. So this is actually, I think it was his aunt that said this. The dog's owners were great people who have been nothing but kind to Bridger and his family, and the Walker family felt no resentment towards them. Instead, there had only been an increase of love between our families as a result of the incident.
No.
At one point, they asked Bridger if he wanted the dog gone, and he said, well, not all the way gone. So, I don't actually know the outcome if the dog is still alive or not, but if he is, I think Bridger had something to do with that.
Yeah.
A second update on Bridger is that in lieu of the donations, many people, because this went viral, this was July 2020, so if you think about like COVID outbreak, everyone's stuck at home, we've got everyone's scared of what's happening in the country and what's happening all over the world with this sickness. All I think about is like Tiger King and TikTok and like what was happening in our lives during this time. Of
course.
And so of course people find this amazing story of a boy who saved his little sister, and everyone wanted to like donate and help and do what they could. And so basically they said like, we're good. But they asked that if people wanted to donate, that they would donate to the Wounded Warrior Project of 2020 or of 22. Sorry. The Wounded Warrior Project, or Mission 22 is what it's called.
Okay.
They That's also cool. said that if you want to do something for Bridger, is you can send him pictures of rocks, because he was really into rocks.
Like the ones that are painted, or just rocks in general?
Just in general. Just like, yeah, rocks in general. He was really into that kind of stuff. So they're like, just send him, like, they set up like a P.O. box for him and stuff. They're like, you can send him letters and things like that. But his aunt made a Facebook post about how he was, or an Instagram post about how he was a hero. And in her post, she tagged the Marvel cast, like literally all of them, and he got a huge response from it.
Wow.
Tom Holland actually promised him that he could spend some time with him on set of No Way Home, and he fulfilled that promise in 2021.
That's cool.
So he flew Bridger and some of his family out, and they got to spend the day with Tom and Zendaya and other cast from Spider-Man. And some of the other Marvel cast reached out to him. So this is something that Mark Ruffalo said. He said, people who put well-beings of others in front of themselves are the most heroic and thoughtful people I know. I truly respect and admire your courage and heart. So that was from Mark Ruffalo. Chris Evans sent Bridger a video message, and he said, this is a message for Bridger. Hey Bridger, Captain America here. How you doing, buddy? And they posted the video of Bridger's reaction on the Instagram, and he went on to say in the video, I'm sure you've heard a lot of this over the last couple of days, but let me be the next one to tell you, pal, you're a hero. What sorry, I'm like gonna cry again. What you did was so brave, so selfless. Your sister is so lucky to have you as a big brother. Your parents must be so proud of you. Chris Evans then went on to send Bridger his own Captain America shield. Aww.
Made of vibranium? Just kidding.
Probably.
Just kidding. It's a fictional medal.
Thank you for that, Miles. Brie Larson, who plays Captain Marvel, directly messaged Bridger. I don't know what she said to him. Anyways, Jeremy Renner, who plays Hawkeye in the Avengers, called Bridger, quote, the first Avenger, and said what fortitude and heart that he has. Anyways, he also heard from other celebrities such as Octavia Spencer, Gordon Ramsay, Kevin Jonas, Robbie Amell, and others who commented on Bridger's post, and was praised by the U.S. Navy and Wounded Warrior Project for his bravery.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And the last thing I have to say about this is that I think it was his dad said this. Bridger views his scar as something to be proud of, but he also doesn't see it as being representative of his brave act. He just perceives it as, quote, I was a brother, and that's what brothers do, end quote. Aww. It's a reminder that his sister didn't get hurt and that she is okay. And he still stands by what he said in that interview, that if someone was going to die that day, he felt like it should have been him. Mm-hmm. And so that is the story of Cheyenne's hero. I guess I should say America's hero, Bridger Walker from Cheyenne, Wyoming.
That's such a good story. It's really touching.
Yeah. It was really cool to be part of the community where it happened. Mm-hmm. I have never met him, but I know that I think it was my dad met his dad, met Bridger's dad, at like a church function or something like that. I don't know if he met Bridger or not, but yeah, just knowing like that happened here. And I think it's so cool like how far it went, because I feel like nobody ever hears about Cheyenne.
Yeah, not really.
And the fact that it was like such a sad, scary thing that happened, like it's kind of like, oh, like when news gets out, it's bad news, but then like just to see like what it kind of did for the country during such like a time as COVID-19.
Yeah.
You know. Anyways. So those are some feel good stories for you.
I do feel good.
Some stories about our favorite heroes. Some men in tights and real life good Samaritans.
Yeah. It reminds me of you know those videos that people post of them like saving animals that are like stuck or something like that. And like I know a lot of them are what's the word? I don't know. But like trying to be like, hey, like you should keep an eye out for these as well. But I also see some where I'm like, you are definitely doing this for the publicity.
Yeah.
Like you see like people leave them like in their videos that they post of them setting up the camera before helping the animal. It's like, you know, what if this animal is actually dying?
Yeah.
And in the time that you're setting up the camera, it's dead. Like,
Yeah.
you know, what good does that do you? Like, save the animal first, and then, like, I don't know. If you have someone with you, cool. Like, have them record. But if you're by yourself, like, you don't need that publicity.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah, I mean, it is sad what people will do for clout, but
Yeah.
just a reminder that there are really good, genuine people in the world.
Yes.
Even the ones that like to dress funny and put on masks and call themselves funny names. It's like they have their hearts are in the right place.
Yeah. It's like doing good things for the wrong reasons is what I was trying to get at.
Yeah, I get what
you also can do good things for good reasons, right?
Yeah.
So, be one of those people. The latter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't know what else to say. Thank you for coming to my podcast. Cool. Well, everyone, this is our last February episode, which means that next week you're getting a double feature of a listener story and a Miles episode. So you have a few more days. Send us in your Lucky Duck stories for March 1st.
For St. Paddy's Day.
Yeah.
The month of luck.
If you know any leprechauns, send those in too. The whole leprechaun, not just the story.
Yep. Yep. Not the Grim Reaper.
Oh yeah, no, you can leave him behind.
Yeah.
Or her. We don't judge her.
That'll be for Cinco de Mayo.
There we go.
That's Day of the Dead, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, you can send us in stories to famdamilypodcast@gmail.com. You can catch us on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and anywhere you get your podcasts, and YouTube. That too.
Yeah, YouTube too. We forget about that one sometimes.
We do. I need to add more episodes to it. I think we have like six.
Yeah. Cool. And remember, folks, whatever you do, always give 100%, unless you're donating blood.